What it do, baby boo? We're back in the building. I gotta clear that. Welcome back to the podcast, everyone.
What in the hell was that?
I don't know. We were talking so casually too, just barely. It just felt right.
Oh my gosh. Welcome back to my crappy voice. I've been on death's doorstep again. So if I randomly cut out, it's because I'm coughing.
It's all right. We have missed you guys. We did not have an episode over Christmas, which we for sure failed to let you know. So we still apologize for that. I think we've just been Taylor's been dying, and we've just also been living in the holiday spirit, I guess.
I mean, there was no holiday spirit in my home. It was all sick. So
Yeah, that sounds pretty terrible, honestly.
yeah.
It was
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah. So I had bronchitis, and then I think I had the flu, and then I thought I had a blood clot again. And it turned out to be cellulitis, which is a skin infection that feels and looks exactly like a blood clot, but it was not a blood clot. So here we are.
Do you think that you actually had the flu? Because I saw when I was researching about cellulitis that it can give you flu-like symptoms.
You know, I that thought has crossed my mind very heavily. And when I was in the hospital, they were not in any way, shape, or form concerned about the flu. I never tested for the flu. So
maybe it was that, because you
yeah.
were really sick.
Yeah, I was so sick. So
Crazy town. I don't have any updates for anyone besides I am in that weird period between work right now, where I don't do anything. I pretend I'm working a little bit and I'm just lazy. So I've been drinking heavily over the holidays, so that's been fun. Mostly by myself because Taylor's been MIA and she's gonna be MIA for New Year's. So be prepared. Well, you guys already see them by the time you listen to this, but I will be posting very sad posts, I'm sure.
So sad. Shelby just reminded me that our last time without New Year's was going into 2020, and it was a horrendous night. Tony and I got in a giant fight. It was not fun. I watched fireworks from a hotel balcony at Park City all by myself while I was watching her. It was probably Snapchat stories back in those days. I don't even remember, some sort of stories where everybody was having a good time and Tony was passed out and I was pissed, and it was a horrible night. So let's hope we're not going into 2023 like that, because I'm not celebrating with Shelby.
I mean, I don't think that will happen, but you never know, man. Mesquite might get you.
I hope it doesn't get me.
I will not be posting any fun things. I'm not having a party. I do have party decorations to set the vibe because that's who I am. I was invited to a couple of things, but I said no.
Why?
I just don't really feel like it. I don't feel like socializing when I don't feel fully comfortable, I guess, with some people. Like, if it was just like my close type of people where I could just be myself and be chill, I would love to do that. But when it's like people that are also gonna have people that I don't know, I'm not in the mood to like go spend New Year's with strangers. Like,
Yeah,
New Year's to me is like a personal thing. Like, I want to ring it in with my closest people, not strangers.
I get
So that's why I said no.
I get that.
We'll see. I'll probably just play video games and drink champagne. I thought about being sober, but I was also going to be sober in January, and I just started to realize I don't feel like that's going to work out for me either. I'm going to Vegas for work, so I was realizing like, okay, I'm going to try and be as sober as possible until we go on our cruise. And then I was like, but I have wine night, which January 11th, everyone come to my house that's in the area and have wine. It's going to be great.
Even if you live 2 hours away, you can
but
still
bring
come.
A bottle of wine to share, or a snack to share, or something. Don't just show up and like make me feed you.
You sounded like such a mom.
That's gonna happen on January 11th, and it's every second Wednesday of every month moving forward. So don't fucking forget. anyway, so I was going to drink on that night, and then I was going to be sober all the way until our cruise. And then I remembered I'm going to Vegas for work. And I was like, well, clearly I'm going to have some drinks there. But
Yeah.
the nights that I don't have something special, I'm just going to try to be sober. But, also life kind of sucks right now sometimes. And I feel like if I want to drink a glass of wine, I'm probably going to do it.
Hey, that is fine. I am going to drink at your wine night. And then other than that, I'm staying sober till our cruise. So
That'll be helpful for you. I feel like when you don't have certain things too, it makes it really easy. Like going to Vegas, I'm not going to go to Vegas and not get a fucking spicy margarita or
of
some shit.
course
Like
not.
1000% no. Plus, I'm gonna be traveling with work people that I have not traveled with before,
Yeah,
and also our CEO from Vienna. So I'm gonna need a cocktail.
for sure. For sure. Yeah, I'm not big. I don't really drink alone. And so, yeah, if I don't really have much going on, so I'll
I
just be
also
me.
I think you like wine and you enjoy it, but I don't feel like you like get the pleasure out of it the way that I do. Like when I have a glass of wine, like this glass of wine right now just feels I don't know, I feel peace.
Yeah, I'm very much like a social drinker. If I'm not doing something social, like socially, I don't drink.
Yeah.
Like Tony and I will occasionally have drinks, just the two of us, but like I don't know, we don't really do that a whole ton unless like we're going out to dinner or something.
Yeah. So
So,
interesting. It's not like a bad thing. It's just interesting how people are so different. Like
mhm.
Callie on Peloton, she's like always just making mocktails, and she's like, I drink every now and then, but for the most part, I just don't. And I was just like, how wild would that be? Not in a bad way.
Yeah,
It's just like wild.
yeah, yeah. Very interesting. But yeah, I'm not much of a drinker unless I'm in a social place.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have absolutely nothing to fill you guys in on except for Christmas I spent in the emergency room. Christmas Day we went to Tony's family. Really funny that this happened on Christmas Universe, the one year that I'm like I'm going to be a Christmas joyful lady, and I was, but it was definitely the worst Christmas I've had in a while.
Yeah, that's so sad. It's just sad to me too because I remember feeling this way last year. I feel like we kept making a bunch of plans and like exciting things, and then you kept getting sick. So like I don't
Mhm.
know what the fuck juju you have going on, but you need to go like find somewhere to cleanse it. Like
I know. I
I
need
don't
to
know what it
stop
is,
being
but you gotta
sick.
go find it. Cause like I was thinking back and I was like, oh my God, this has happened a lot over the like last year where Taylor's like, we're going to do something, and then it's like, oh, she's
Just
sick.
kidding. Yeah. Yeah. It sucks. I'm very, very much not wanting to be sick anymore.
It'll get better. I believe in it.
Yeah.
So since we don't have anything else, we are going to do our year-end review. Normally we would have had this come out this week, but we took a break. So this will come out into the new year, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So it'll
Mhm.
be in the new year when you guys hear this, but we like to reflect back on our year, just really like process how everything has gone, celebrate wins, losses, which like you should still celebrate losses because I don't know, I think there's something to them. So yeah, are you ready?
Yeah. If you guys follow us on Instagram, Shelby posted a lot of good like writing prompts, like journal prompts or thinking prompts. And those are the questions that we're answering tonight.
Yes, and I'll repost them again. So like if you didn't take the chance to do it, then maybe after you hear this episode, you'll be like, okay, I want to do it. But I don't know. I think it's important for you to do this every year, 1000%.
Yeah.
So,
Same.
Taylor,
Yes.
what was something you started doing this year?
I mean, I feel like this year has been very weird. I feel like I've started doing a lot of new things. Um, a morning routine is probably like the biggest one. I've actually had somewhat of a morning routine. A few months ago, I was talking about wanting to work out in the morning. I've started doing that, started meditating, doing breath work in the morning. Like I have a little skincare routine. I eat breakfast. That was creepy. My light
Why
just
is that
flickered
so
if you're not
happening?
watching us on YouTube. Um, Yeah. So doing stuff in the morning besides rolling out of bed and almost running late for work has been a game changer for me.
I feel like for me, one thing I started doing was ordering groceries to be delivered to my house, which is
Mm.
still very hard for me to do because I don't know what that's about. But I would say another thing is that I have really, really started to like have a positive outlook on people not being in my life anymore. And I think normally they would like if people started to not be in my life, I would like get really like down and frustrated and like try and figure out how to have them in my life or how to fix it. And now I'm letting people just like take their space. And if they want to be in my life, they can be in my life, but they have to apologize first. And that's a huge thing that I've never let happen.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Um, what new things do you want to try next year?
So what I'm really focusing on, my gosh, what is happening with my light? I think it just burnt out. It didn't. I'm so stressed.
You have some weird energy, man.
I have been having a lot of ghost activity lately. What was I answering?
What new things do you want to try next year?
Okay. So next year I'm really focusing on my health and yeah, that's going to be like the forefront of my year. So everything new that I want to try, I really want to work on holistically healing my PCOS and like kind of going that route of doing things a more healthy way, cutting out like processed foods. I'm going to try really hard to cut out fast food and like syrups in my coffee, which I do sugar free now, but like there's still problems with sugar free things. So I just really want to live a healthier lifestyle.
Those are good. I haven't fully started like diving into my next year. I've started like, I don't know, I feel like about 2 weeks before the end of the year, I start like processing like, okay, what am I really wanting to do next year or accomplish next year or focus on next year? A new thing that I'm going to be trying for sure is to like budget, not like fully budget, like I will never be a budgeted hoe. Like there's just no fucking way. Like it's not happening. But I am going to be more conscious about our spending and not mindlessly spending because fortunately, like we make decent money and we just blow through it. And I'm going to work really hard to not let that be the case anymore. Like we still live paycheck to paycheck most of the time, which makes absolute zero sense to me that
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing that, but like we are. And I just don't want to do that anymore. So my goal
Yeah.
at the end of next year is to hopefully not be living paycheck to paycheck.
And I am also doing this with Shelby, you guys, because I mean, most of my money we've spent together. So
Literally.
we need to support each other, especially now that I have a wedding and a yard to pay for next year. Like I really need to dial in my spending and my I don't even like the word budget, so I'm not going to say budget, but it is definitely something Shelby and I are doing together. So if you guys want to live a healthier financial life, do it with us. Don't mindlessly spend. Don't
Yeah.
plan a vacation and book a cruise at 9 o'clock on a Saturday morning.
I mean, we were gonna do it anyways. There's
I
nothing wrong
know.
with that. We were planning that for like a year. We just weren't saving for it.
Don't plan a trip to Mykonos at 7 o'clock on a Wednesday.
Yes, 1000%. Don't blow up the group chat with that. But yeah, we're not budgeted hoes. We won't be, but we can spend better. So that's my goal, and that's something new that I want to try next year.
Love it.
Um, what was your favorite books from this year?
Ooh, good question. Let me pull up my Goodreads.
God, I love Goodreads. If you guys
I
aren't
do
on
too.
Goodreads, you have to get Goodreads. It's just like an app. You can save books you want to read, you can rate them, you can look into them. It's amazing.
Yes. Okay, so obviously Harry Potter is high on my list, rereading those still. I'm glad my mom died, that Jeanette McCurdy book that I talked about in one of our episodes.
I didn't read
Um,
that.
so good.
I need to add that.
Yeah, I still highly recommend. I read this really good book called Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter. I found one of my new favorite authors. Her name is Alice Feeney. All of her books are amazing. Rock, paper, scissors. I just finished one called Sometimes I Lie. And of course, Colleen Hoover, It Ends With Us. I read that this year too. And the new one that just came out, It Starts With Us. So yeah, I read some pretty good books this year.
Taylor and I read very different books. I most of the time read self-help or business books. Probably 98% of the things I consume are related to that, because I think as an Enneagram 1, it's very hard for me to not constantly be pushing or learning more or being better. Like that's just like in my nature. But I did forget to mention a new thing I'm going to try that I haven't fully committed to is reading one book a month that is not self-development, self-help, or business
Yes.
related.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it.
But so I'll give you guys my list of books that I think were the best. The Power of One More. Still love that book. Everyone 1000% needs to read it. Eat It by Jordan Syatt, who's going to be on the podcast in February. He's amazing.
I
You
forgot
guys should
about that book.
1000% follow him on social media. He helps you unlock the mental stigma behind diet, fitness, healthy living, like everything, and it's just great. Malibu Rising was a book I read that was not self-help or business, and it was really good. It made me want to go to Malibu ASAP. Restart Roadmap by Jason Tardik, who is with Caitlin Bristow, who I fucking love her. Wish I could be her and have her wine label so bad. His book was really good if you're in a slump, like professionally, and you need help, like asking for more money, deciding if you should stay in your job, all of those things. Super great book. And then The Silent Patient is also one that I read that was not an actual self-help book, and it was great too.
I
So those are
love
my
that
favorites.
book. Love that book.
Dang, we should really start reading more books, like with our podcast people.
We should. I was like, we should start reading more books. I read a book like every other week.
No, like we should start like having more book conversations with people.
We
Like,
should.
do our listeners even like read books? Like, I'm so confused.
I
I'm gonna ask that
love
question.
very deep mystery, murder, gory books. So if that is your thing, please send me your list of books, because I love trying to figure out like a whodunit type thing. And I love books with like a giant twist at the end. So send me recommendations, please.
The fact that you said who done it was so country.
Whodunit, y'all.
What it do, baby boo? How did you rise to the occasion this year?
I mean, gosh, what does that even mean?
I mean, I think it's like when you've been faced with something hard or something that you didn't want to do, like how did you rise to the occasion?
I mean, I feel like after Gypsy died, the day after, because we had already had plans to go to the Wyoming Downs, and we were just going to bring Gypsy with us. And then when we woke up on that Friday when we were supposed to be leaving, that's when Gypsy was like not doing well. And so we canceled that night, and then we went the next night, and I really just showed up for a good ass time. I really rose to that Wyoming Downs occasion. Needed it. I needed to drink every ounce of tequila that I drank, and it was such a good night in the midst of something so sad. But it was very hard to get there. And I'm very happy that I did, because it was exactly what Tony and I needed.
I fully agree with that. And I almost forgot about that, honestly. I do think you should make sure you get that in our calendars for next year because I'm still fucking pissed that I didn't get to go to the freaking horse derby.
Listen, you guys, the Wyoming Downs is my mom thinks I'm crazy. She's like, it was fun, but you were like obsessed with it. Like it was so freaking fun. And we just stayed at a freaking Best Western that had this restaurant with a club attached to it. Like that's all. It was nothing special. And it was like so fun. So Wyoming Downs next year, I'm bringing Shelby. We're going to this fucking club. It's going to be a great time.
I would say that when you posted that, it reminded me of a Jersey Shore episode when they went bowling and there was a strip club next to it. So
That's exactly
it felt very similar vibes. Low key, my goal in life, hopefully sometime in my near future, is to go to the Kentucky Derby and wear the hat and do the thing. That shit's so expensive. I'm on their list to get their emails when tickets go out, and like one day it's going to happen and I can't wait. It's going to be the best day of my life for
Yeah,
sure.
it was truly like if Wyoming was that fun, I can't even imagine the Kentucky Derby because Wyoming was so fun.
Yeah, we need that on the calendar. I don't know what specifically I would have rose to the occasion for. I would say that my year was pretty intense, and I would say that most of the time me showing up was me rising to the occasion. But what I would say is there are a few times that I wish I couldn't have done that. Like, for instance, when I went to my sister's wedding, I probably shouldn't have been there. Like, I was not my best self. I was not in the best headspace. I wish I could have enjoyed it the way that I wanted to. I rose to the occasion, but I wasn't able to actually be my best self. And so I think my fault is really more, when should I not rise to the occasion? Because I need to not do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have an easier time masking and rising to an occasion than just dealing with a situation. So I don't know specifically if I have like one where I could be like, I rose to the occasion. I mean, I was nice to people I probably shouldn't fucking have been nice to because I didn't want to. Maybe that's rising to the occasion.
I know what occasion you rose to.
What?
The cruise. Our girls' cruise.
Yeah.
There was so much drama before, during, and after, and you were the
Yeah.
glue that held everybody together, including me.
I mean, I really just don't know who I was on that trip besides in the middle, chill, calm. And maybe that's rising to the occasion, but
It was.
I wanted to murder a lot of people.
You were the calm in the middle of the storm.
Literally, and I charged my tits under the moonlight.
Yeah.
Um, what were your personal highlights from this year?
So when I saw these questions, I was literally like, oh my God, this year was the worst. Like, I have hardly any highlights. And luckily, I keep a very detailed Instagram because I literally had to go through my Instagram and be like, what were the highlights of this year? And it actually, like, it was really probably the hardest year I've had in a while, but there were some really great things. So, some highlights were the wine bar opened by me, and that was very exciting still to this day. Dandelion happened in February this year, and that's like one of my most favorite memories ever. Um,
Same.
that whole trip was just so fun. That LA girls trip. I freaking saw Hamilton this year. Hello. I totally like I didn't forget about it, but like it didn't register that it was this year. So that's always like it's been on my bucket list. So that was amazing. The balloon festival that Tony and I went to, Mia and Mason both graduated from preschool, and we did lavender filled yoga. There was that pride night at the wine bar. I participated in that protest for abortion rights, which was super exciting. When you guys came up for the 4th of July, we went to that car show parade. That was so fun. And There was a picture I saw because I bought my nephew's slime and played with that with them and ruined Tiana's table. And that's just like one of my most favorite memories because Tiana was so pissed, but those boys were so happy. Like, how can you even be mad that your table's ruined with slime? Because
Dude, fuck slime.
we
Fuck
really had a
slime.
great time. We saw Backstreet Boys in concert. My birthday party was a big swimming day, which was so fun. Forced Shelby to go to Old Spaghetti Factory. Going to Oregon over Labor Day. That trip was amazing. I finally got my yoga graduation celebration, and it was the final thriller ever, which is sad, but it was so good. Loved North Carolina, even though there was drama. Shelby and I getting drunk before getting on our flight. And of course, I got engaged. So this year had a lot of good things in it.
One of the things I was thinking yesterday was how hard it is to really like look back on the year. So like I think that's why it's so huge to reflect is like it's so hard to remember what's happened in a whole entire year. Like the year goes by quick and you're like, holy crap, how is this happening? But you forget all the things that like happened throughout the year so quickly. It's insane. I love that you are so good at posting on your Instagram. I actually over the next couple of days plan to do a bunch of catch up on mine because I was doing really good at making sure each month I was catching up finally, and then I just like slowly stopped. I don't know what has shifted over the last couple of years, but like I used to post actual posts a lot for memories, and then something has happened. Someone has fucking done me dirty or something because I no longer want to share like those memories. I just keep hoarding them for myself. And I can't figure out where that's happened, but I plan to catch up in a couple of days. So there will be a lot of photo dumps from me. But when I was reflecting and trying to think about it, I kept thinking like, holy crap, like your camera roll is the best way to figure out what's been going on for sure. Instagram's super helpful. But when I thought about it, I was just like, wow, this year blew by and feels like a blur. But there were so many highlights that were like great and cherishable to me that I want to go and like journal them because I need to like journal them specifically rather than like this, and this, which is like more of what my personality would be is like, here's a check, here's a check, here's a check. I want to like sit down and like reflect on them and like actually write a paragraph or something about them because I've never really done journal work necessarily to that level. And I feel like this year was like a huge one for me and I want to like stop and reflect on it. And I think especially because Jaden's was graduating senior, like he's at that age that I was like, I really want to like reflect back on this year and like find more of those family moments to like think about them and appreciate them more because I think I can be very bitter. But back to the question, my highlights that I can like think of are getting out of my toxic as fuck job. Jesus Christ, best thing ever. That's a huge highlight for me. I wish I could say my travels were a highlight, but the travels this year, besides our trip in February, did not bring me joy. Like my birthday brought me joy in Mesquite. Going to California in February brought me joy. I think there's been too much chaos going on and too many unhealed people that made it so I couldn't enjoy like my normal joy in traveling. And so the reasons I was traveling on those trips should have been happy, but the people that were the highlight of those trips need to go to therapy, like 1000%. And so I think that I wish my traveling was more of a highlight, but it just wasn't a highlight. And it makes me sad because I dumped a fuck ton of money into that shit.
Yeah, when I use Instagram as like my journal, which
is smart.
Yeah, but like if Instagram ever goes away, like what will I do? Because I detail like my posts so much. Like I don't give a shit if anybody likes them. Like I don't do it for the likes. I truly do it for me. But like I do need to sit down and like actually write it out in a journal because if Instagram ever goes away, like what will I do? I have no idea.
I do think that that is something I think about. And part of why I stopped doing it is because so many people around the time I think I stopped were posting to pretend their lives were a certain way, and it just started to piss me off, and I felt like people were thinking I was that way because
Mhm.
I do like to post. I post a fuck ton on my stories. Some people
Yeah.
judge me for it. I don't really care. I enjoy it. I think it's fun, and people are still looking, so if you don't like it, like, unfollow me. That's totally
Mhm.
fine. But I was thinking, and I keep meaning to text in our group chat about this, like, I want to be better about setting up our group shared photo albums in Google because we did that in Mexico and
Mhm.
just dumped all of our photos in there, and you can add like notes in there. And I was thinking that would be a really good thing, but I want to start trying to make a photo album
I do
of
too.
each trip every time that we do one because it's so easy for us to forget them. Like,
Mhm.
we don't have to have all of the pictures in there, but we could all like intentionally make our own and like with whatever notes we wanted to, which would serve as our Instagrams. And
Mhm.
I think it would be like a really good thing for us to do for ourselves.
Yeah, I think so too. Cause I definitely like, I don't know, pictures are a big deal for me. And I have really slacked taking pictures lately. And I don't know why, because they mean so much to me. So I need to be like better at taking pictures. But yeah, I definitely want to start making like photo books.
I would say part of that, I think we've been more present when we do stuff. Like, when we're doing stuff, we'll take a picture here and there or something, but we're more present, I think, when we hang out than we've probably ever been. Like,
Mhm.
I think sometimes we just get together, and I think it's probably like life is just crazy. So we just like set our phones to the side and we just like don't really care.
Yeah,
Back in the
like
day when it was like Snapchat was a huge thing, or like, I don't know, maybe we just like it comes with maturity, but we would just like always be on our phones posting. We
Mhm.
don't do that anymore.
Yeah, like on Monday when I came over to your house, I don't think I touched my phone once.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah. So,
Um, what did you learn about yourself this year?
oh my God, I have learned so much this year. It's so funny that my word for the year was transform because I just feel like I don't feel like I fully transformed, but I just feel like that word just has made me, I don't know, really dive into myself. The biggest thing that I am like in the process of learning right now that actually like I had a huge breakthrough in therapy yesterday with it is just learning how I grieve. And it's not just with death. Like I grieve everything. Like I'm such a big lover of life and events and places and people and things and all of the things that like when something is different, I grieve that. Like Christmas Eve, not spending it with my family. Like I was grieving that like one of us died. And it's like, come on, Taylor. Like we still did a Christmas celebration, but it's like the end of something that I love so much. So I don't know. It's been very interesting to learn this about myself because it makes sense for so many things of my life of I am excited for like the new chapter of things, but like I have to grieve the ending of something. And it makes me feel like sad for Henley because Henley does the same thing. And I don't,
Mhm.
I was telling my therapist yesterday, he's like, it's a beautiful quality that you have. And I was like, yeah, but I see it as a big curse because I'll be in a moment and then I'll get like this sad of like, oh my God, I don't want this to end. And so, like, I'll start the grieving process as I'm in the moment sometimes, like with certain things. And so, yeah, like it's a blessing and a curse, but it's definitely something that like I'm really learning about myself.
It's definitely a trauma response for you where,
Mhm.
and like this would for sure have to just like be unraveled somewhere in your journey, but
Mhm.
like because you know something hard is going to happen, you shut down like weeks, days, months, like it's wild. Like there's been times where I've actually like watched it happen and just been like, oh, it makes sense why she's doing this. But like in the moment, I'm kind of like, what the fuck is going on? You know, but like
Mhm.
that's your trauma response. My trauma response is to just like fucking bulldoze through everything and just pretend everything's fine, you know, like
Mhm.
it's so weird. And I think that's one thing I learned about myself a lot this year in therapy is just like how much trauma makes you respond all the time. And every ounce of your life is a trauma response to some
Mhm.
degree. And that's been so weird for me to unravel and like reflect on and learn about and like realizing like like when I posted about like my hometown and like how much of that has like impacted my life, I'm like, holy shit, like every ounce of your life impacts you. And we're just pretending it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
And like just learning all of those things has just, I think that that's just been like wild to me. But like what I would say is like, I definitely have realized that A, we're both so strong, I would say, and B, like we're fucking badass for dealing with it because so many people are just ignoring all of this and pretending like they're just bitching and complaining or like my life is so hard or
Mm-hmm.
whatever they want to do about it, being grumpy, not living life to the fullest, whatever title you want to give it, and like just go to therapy and I guarantee you'd start feeling so much better.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I just learned about myself trauma. Trauma is huge.
I think this was one of the biggest growth years for you that
Yeah.
you've probably ever had in your entire life.
I think it's been like the biggest healthy growth year because
Mm-hmm.
I would say like when we went on our Rachel Hollis journey, like that was a huge transformation for us both. Like
Mm-hmm.
we shifted completely as people that year, which was like a huge switch. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
probably the year we stopped drinking box wine, honestly. Like
I think it was.
probably. But I would say that this year has been like the healthiest growth.
Mm-hmm.
Healthiest growth. Why can't I
Growth.
say that? Say healthiest growth 5 times fast.
Healthiest growth, healthiest growth, healthiest growth.
That was only 3 times.
Healthiest growth, healthiest growth.
Why can't I say that?
I don't know. Yeah, I feel like
um,
it's been a very hard year for you, but very good.
yeah, I agree. Um, let's see. What memorable TV shows or movies did you watch this year?
I don't feel like I've really watched a lot of new shows or
Um,
movies.
sorry, there's someone at my house right now and I'm judging.
Who?
I
Oh, a
don't know. I can't
teenager.
see. It's dark. Um, I don't know if I would say that there's any like memorable shows. I would say though, like there's been some documentaries like the Jeffrey Dahmer one. I started, never finished it though.
The Dahmer show.
Yeah, like the TV
Oh
series that they did,
I never finished that
like the
either.
docu series. So like I don't know if there's any that were like memorable besides ones that I were like so intense, but I never finished them.
Yeah, I can't think. Like, I know I've watched a lot of TV, but I don't know. Like, nothing is standing out to me.
Are you trying to say that One Tree Hill didn't change your life?
No, I actually got kind of bored. I haven't watched it for a while. I actually started watching Gossip Girl in the background again because One Tree Hill was boring me.
It does seem to like go through a lag, I would say. When you're watching it when it first came out, it was like you got to keep watching it. But now it's like it goes through a phase where it just kind of feels like it's repeating itself, but not.
Mm-hmm. And
But
you know
that's all
what?
TV shows.
I can't freaking stand Peyton. And she's in so much of it. And that's a big part of my problem is she really irritates me. And so
She's
like,
a mess.
yeah, I can't really like dive into it because like she just isn't a good actress either. Like it's just not good. She bugs. Bugs,
There was
bugs,
a
bugs.
there was a period where Haley on the show started to bother the fuck out of
Oh,
me.
she bothers me too.
She's so basic, and I was just like, you do not deserve all this time, and you should not be with Nathan because you're basic.
Yeah,
But
the
Nathan
only
sucks
person I
too.
like is Chad Michael Murray. So
I agree with that. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think I watch a ton of shows or movies. I think school impacted that a lot, but I don't know. It's just not really my thing. I still love like dumb shit like Teen Mom, The Challenge. The freaking Hugh Hefner documentary did rock my
oh,
world.
that would count for
But
sure.
again, didn't finish it. Like the ones that have been memorable, I can't finish them because they're so
Messed
sick.
up. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like that's the world we live in, guys.
Yep.
Um, what was something you stopped doing or stopped doing as much?
Mm, I definitely stopped drinking as much alcohol as I used to. And I don't know. I don't know what else I've stopped.
For me, I don't know. Have I stopped anything?
Yeah, I don't feel like I've really stopped anything. I feel like I've just like made such healthy habits over the years that like I haven't really needed to stop anything.
I would say that I stopped. I think I would say it's kind of hard to explain. I think I would say that I stopped blazing through situations with toxic positivity and like allowing myself like a moment to think about or deal with the situation. I feel like when I learned about that, especially around my grass saga, which like if you're an OG, you know the grass saga. I feel like ever since that, I really like when I'm sad, I just let myself be sad. Or if something's pissing me off, I let myself like deal with it rather than ignoring it. And I feel like that's something, it's like I don't really know how to explain what it was that I stopped doing, but I know that I stopped doing something so that I could do that.
Yeah. Yeah, that would count. I don't know what I don't think I've really stopped, except my drinking habits have definitely changed. That's the only thing I can think of.
I
But
would
it's
say your
mainly
drinking
just because it
habits,
makes me sick.
I would say your drinking habits changed, except you catch up for it when you get to a drinking scenario. Not all the time, but
Except
sometimes.
when I get to a party and then it's like all the rules are just out the door.
Yeah, you definitely catch up on your drinking, I think. Like, you drink faster than me at a situation now, and
I
you're always like,
do.
"What? Like, why is your drink full?" And I'm like, "How the fuck is she drinking this so fast?" I think that every single time, and I think it's because I'm more of a casual drinker, and you're more of a like, "Party, party."
I don't know. I don't know.
It's fine. I like it. I'm here for it, and I will support it for the end of time. Um,
You just like watching me walk down your icy driveway with Cetaphil in my hand.
I mean, I wasn't gonna bring it up, but I was thinking I'm here to watch that always.
Oh my God, so funny.
Okay. I feel like this is gonna be our last question unless there's some that you wanted to answer still. If you could do this one, wait, did I ask that? Oh yeah, if I could do this one thing next year, I would be really proud of myself.
Ooh, what would mine be? Honestly, if I could work through this whole death fear that I have, that would make me incredibly proud.
I mean, I think you should rephrase that though, of I don't think you can ever work through something that's who you are, like find a help if I could find a healthy way to process this or something, because you're not ever going, like I think you or someone we follow posted like you never work, or maybe you told me your therapist said this, how you never like work through a situation, like it lives with you, you figure out how to
How
live with
to,
it.
yeah, I told you that my therapist did say
Yeah,
that. So yeah, that's correct. Reword it. If I could just make it not be as scary as it is, that
I
would
like that.
be if I could find some comfort in it rather than fear.
I like that. I think for me, oof, I think if I could do this one thing next year, I would be really proud of myself. Um, I think if I could find a healthy way to live with my sexual trauma, I would be really proud of myself. Like,
Mm,
I
love it.
have a, Jesus Christ. I have like, I'm noticing that it's still something that affects me because like so much TMI, sorry Wally, I know you don't listen, but like it affects me so much now again to where I don't have sex with my husband because I'm constantly triggered again, and I want to find a way to really fully dive into that so that I'm like back to being regular on that schedule, because right now like I'm like very weird about my body, like more than I probably have been in years.
It's probably because though, like you're in the midst of dealing with it,
I
I
think so.
feel
Like it's
like,
on my mind.
yeah, I feel like especially now that I've started like intense therapy every week again, I feel like all of my past trauma is catching back up with me and I feel like I'm literally starting at ground zero again.
Yeah.
Like thinking I had a blood clot again was literal like the worst thing in the whole world, and I think it's just because I am diving into all of this, so I think that that plays a lot into it.
I think so too. Like I think like I've been thinking more about my rape than I probably ever have. And I think it is exactly what you're saying. It's because of everything that's going on in my life, but it's making it so that I'm not able to like even have
Function
sex with my
almost,
husband
yeah.
or even appreciate my body. Like I'm back to looking in the mirror and I see nothing. And like that was a huge thing when I realized that the other day of like, holy shit, like this is impacting me so much more than I realized it. And so I think if I could really figure out how to like break through that this year, I would be really happy because ladies have needs, okay? It's not that I don't want to. It's that
Yeah, you
I
just can't.
literally am like disassociated from my body all over again. So that
Mhm.
would make me really proud.
I I know I posted this on my Instagram yesterday, but I'm going to start like teaching you guys, well, anybody who follows me, like how to do breath work. And I think that breath work will just help you so much. And I'm not going to force you to do anything, but I hope that you really do try it because I really, really strongly believe it will help you so much.
I think there's probably a lot of things that will help me that I really like. I'm hoping, okay, so let me ask this question because it's on our list. How do you want to feel next year? That's the question. I'm going to answer it first. Next year, I want to feel like I'm actually healing more than
Mhm,
I feel like I'm working through something. So
mhm,
I feel like that's a thing that I've been thinking about a lot too. And it ties into like what you were saying. Like, I want to try whatever I can, like to actually be healing rather than working through something.
mhm.
That's how I want to feel.
Yeah, if you just like research breath work, it brings such amazing results to people. Like, you all know how I feel about meditation. Breath work is like way better than meditation for healing. So, I truly just hope that you will try.
I also, because this is who I am as a person, I've already just wanted to do it because it's supposed to help you with running.
Mhm. Mhm.
I mostly wanted to do it because it's supposed to help you like while you're running and you can't breathe to figure out how to calm yourself and like settle into that state. And I know that will help with anxiety also,
Mhm.
but that's another thing that I've looked into that too of like I need to look into this because when I'm running, my anxiety is kicking in too.
Mhm.
Plus, I'm exhausted and I need to figure out how to breathe through it rather than just stopping, which is like
Mhm.
so similar to what I do.
Yeah. Yeah. And it just helps you like when you do those disassociations, sorry, it brings you just like right back into your body and it calms your whole nervous system. So I'm definitely gonna like dive into it and like teach you guys, talk about it, blah blah blah. But yeah, it really I think will help you a lot.
I think so too. So how do you want to feel next year?
um I would just like to feel some peace, like, yeah, just peace, plain and simple peace. Like my therapist asked me yesterday when we were talking about like death and grief, he's like, what would you want to feel? And I said that. I said peace. And he's like, well, what does that mean? And I was like, I would love to go to bed at night and not have that fear of, am I going to wake up in the morning? Is whoever going to wake up in the morning?
It's insane to me, not in like a
Sorry.
bad way. It's wild to me. It is so wild to me that that's what goes through your mind. Like, I don't think I've ever fully really had that feeling. And it's just, it makes me really sad when you like say things like that because it's just like, how sad, like it does, there's no peace in that kind of
No
mindset,
peace.
like at all.
Mm-hmm.
It makes
And
me
that's,
sad.
sorry guys, I had a coughing attack. That is exactly it, is I never feel peace because I'm always constantly like waiting for the other shoe to drop and that somebody's going to die, which is not healthy at all. But yeah, like I never have any actual peace. I have peaceful moments, but overall not peaceful. So I would just like to feel peace. I would like to go to bed at night and not be scared of what will happen the next day.
I think that's a really good one. Maybe your word for the year should be peace.
Maybe.
I would say too, like, even if it's not your word for the year, you should find ways that you can, like, in a moment, because you were saying you get anxiety, like, when you're in a situation of like, I don't want this to end. Maybe you need to find ways to remind yourself in situations, like, stop and think, like, how can I find peace right now? Like, it's more of like gratitude too. Like, I think sometimes your anxiety makes it so you can't even appreciate like what's happening because you're
Mhm.
already past that, thinking about the next thing of what's stressing you out. So maybe you need to find the way to like trigger yourself of like, okay, I love this day. How can I find peace in it rather than jumping ahead to my anxiety? Because I feel
Yeah.
like that would be really hard.
It
Really hard.
is. It is. It is really hard. That's a really good idea. This has all been breakthroughs from last night, guys. So we are still in moving process of all of this. But yeah, that's a really good idea because
I'm
it's
gonna, you know what,
exhausting.
you know that commercial where it's like you should have had a V8 and you slap people in the head? I'm gonna start doing that to you when we hang out. I'm just gonna randomly like bop you and be like, peace.
When you see me start like checking out, be like, peace.
Should have had some peace. I probably won't, but there will be occasions where I actually will do that for
You
sure.
should. You should. Because sometimes I just need somebody to be like, yo, bring yourself back to earth. Like, get out of your head,
What it do, baby boo?
Yeah. All right. Should we do our asking for a friend?
Yes.
Okay, guys, this is a good one. Hashtag asking for a friend. If I don't see anyone I know tonight, can I wear the same outfit again tomorrow?
Oof, this one's hard for me. It's very, very hard for me because I'm very particular about these things. However, I will say it depends how long you've been wearing the outfit. If
Mhm.
you wore it the entire day, 1000% no. Like, if you put it on for 2 hours, I guess you can do that, but I would suggest maybe switching up something, in my opinion. Like a pants, a shirt, like, I don't know. It feels dirty to me.
You know what? I do this a lot. I'm not even going to lie. As long as your underwear and your bra is clean and you've showered your body, I say go for it. If you're re-wearing underwear, bra, if you're putting the same clothes on a dirty body, like let's not do that, especially if you're re-wearing underwear, because we don't do that in almost 2023.
What
That
about
is
socks?
no re-wearing socks. We all know how I feel about that. But like clothes, who cares? I'll wear the same jeans every day for a week if I feel like confident in them. I don't care.
I think jeans are a lot easier for me than a t-shirt or a whole outfit. Like I said again, if you've only had it on for a couple hours, if the timing is right, sure, you should wear it. But if you're just wearing it to wear it, I can't support that. Like, find a way to mix and match it. If it's just like this was fucking banging and I'm going to dinner, then yes, do it again, depending how long you wore it. But I have a hard
Make
time
sure
with
it
that.
doesn't stink, okay?
I'm like one of those people where like if I wore something during the day, I cannot wear it through the night. Like, I would not be able to go to work and then just spend the rest of my day in that same outfit until nighttime. I have to change somewhere in between.
Really?
Yeah, it fucks with me mentally if I have to go somewhere and I'm busy, 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 or I'm doing stuff and I can't change into something else. If I had something like I'm at work and I had something at 6:30, I would have to go home and change something in my outfit before I went to the next thing.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't, that's what I'm saying. Like, I can't fully get on board with this one, but I would say it depends how long you wore it. I would prefer people mix and matched it a little bit.
Hmm.
Jeans are fine. If they're fine, jeans don't fuck with me. It's like the whole outfit ensemble. I don't know. It doesn't
That's
sit right.
so interesting. You would struggle being in my life because there's so many times that like since I live so far away,
Yeah.
like I either like plans have changed and I don't have time to change or I don't have extra clothes with me and it's like bitch you got to suck it up with what you're in like There's nothing you can do.
I would be fucking changing. I would have clothes. It'd be like I'd have a diaper bag like you do when you're a mom with like a baby and you gotta have extra clothes. I would fucking always have an outfit for sure.
Yeah.
Like, remember in Cosmo when they would have like day to night, how to like take your look day to night? I would have a whole like kit. I could sell it to people because that's how efficient I'd be with it.
Wow. That's so, I could not imagine that. Like, I don't know. I do rewear like same outfits a lot, but I don't wear like if I'm rewearing the outfit, I guess I don't wear it for the full day and then wear it for another full day. It's definitely like, oh, I just wore this for a few hours last night. Like I'll put it back on today. Like
I'm for sure like I wore this on Monday, I wore this on Tuesday, this on Wednesday. What day is acceptable for me to wear that same shirt again? And it has to be like a whole cycle before I'm ever okay putting it back on.
interesting.
Yeah, it is weird that I say that because I am the person that rewears their socks. I will say,
Yeah, I cannot.
I almost texted you the other day and said, I want you to know that I barely wore these socks, almost put them back on, but I got a fresh pair and I did it for you.
I'm so glad that you did that because rewearing socks, it's like rewearing underwear to me. Like they've been on your
Dude,
feet.
your feet are nowhere near as janky as your fucking kuka. Nowhere close to that. Your kuka is fucking nasty.
So are feet.
Nowhere, dude. You're trying to tell me this foot that I'm looking at right now is as nasty as this chachi.
I mean,
No.
are vaginas really that nasty?
They have fluids consistently,
So do feet. Feet sweat.
not to that level. If your
I
feet
don't know.
sweat to that level, you should look into Botox or some shit because that doesn't seem right to me that you're saying that your foot as bleh as your kuka would be.
I mean, no, I'm not saying that my foot is as sweaty. I mean, my vagina doesn't sweat. I'm not saying that
I'm
my
not
foot is as moist as my vagina is.
I'm not saying that they're like constantly secreting. I'm saying that like this is just a different area. It just is different. It's like an open wound area almost.
Oh
Like
my God.
it is an open area to do whatever it wants to do. Your foot is a closed situation that sweats. That's the only thing it does. If that, my feet don't sweat.
I think feet are so gross. I would much rather deal with vaginas than deal with feet. For sure. Hands down.
Wow. That's whack. That's whack to me.
All right. Well,
Anyways.
guys, let us know your input, please. Because obviously this is a very debatable conversation.
Asking for a friend always takes a turn somewhere in the conversation.
You get so heated.
And then we get so passionate.
Yeah. Yeah. So thank you guys so much for listening. Share with a friend, share with us your highlights of the year. And if you answer any of these questions, and like, subscribe, rate, review. Stay tuned for 2023. We got exciting things. So
1000%.
we love you guys. Have a good week. We'll talk to you soon.
What it do, baby boo?
Goodbye.